Minister, I welcome the opportunity to raise this very important issue in relation to the 20-week anomaly scan in Cavan General Hospital. I have submitted numerous parliamentary questions over the last 8 months, and I have been getting very mixed messages from the HSE on this issue. Firstly, I was led to believe that it had been actively worked on for Cavan General Hospital and that it was the aim of the HSE to provide this essential scan to pregnant women in Cavan, Monaghan and across the region. Then we hear the equipment is actually in place in the hospital, but the management are unable to fill the vacancies with the required expertise. Now I'm being told the scan will be provided for within the RCSI hospital group because staffing cannot be secured for the scan in Cavan General Hospital. Minister, this is of cold comfort to the expectant mums in Cavan and Monaghan. Can I just say, the hiring of professionals right across all departments within the HSE appears to be a reoccurring problem. You'd have to ask yourself why. Or is this just an excuse to get out of the original commitments to provide this anomaly scan in Cavan General Hospital and force pregnant women to travel as up to 2 hours away to have the scan that they need? Why should women in Cavan and Monaghan and across that area and in other parts not have this scan made available to them? Minister, I would have to say they're being treated differently, they're being discriminated against, and we're back to the same old story, only look after the big cities. Unfortunately, there have been too many harrowing cases reported over the last number of years in relation to this particular scan, and we had one only this week down in County Cork. I know, Minister, why the HSE are not listening. I don't know why they're not listening to the women who have been crying and concerned about this particular issue. Why are they not accepting and implementing the recommendations of previous cases which have been taken against the HSE? When something goes wrong during pregnancy, and worse, fatal, it has a devastating impact on the families and the staff in the hospitals. To hear that this anomaly scan, if available, could prevent and change the outcome in some way adds further insult to injury, and to the families out there bereaved, it is incomprehensible. Having the scan available to expectant mums at any other site apart from Cavan General Hospital is no good. It's not enough to cherry-pick certain areas and only provide in the big cities. To further compound the family's grief, there has been misinformation given to the media by the professionals, leading the public and me to believe that the scan would be made available in the hospital. And that is simply not true. I've requested a meeting with the Minister, Simon Harris, in relation to one particular family, and that's the Whelan family, who have suffered terribly in relation to a case like this. I'm paraphrasing the Minister, and I mean Minister Harris in relation to this. In requesting the meeting for the Whelan family, his answer was it would be better for them to meet with the HSE. Well, I can tell you, Minister, that's of no comfort, and that's not what the Whelan family want to hear. They want to meet with the Minister to express their concerns and to see that this is implemented in Cavan General Hospital. I want to ask you, Minister, when and why has the plan changed for providing the scan at the hospital to be providing a regional maternal fetal medicine service with the RCSI group? Why the HSE think that this model would give greater recruitment success? Why the HSE have given up so easily on requiring the staff for the hospital to provide this scan? Especially when we believe all the equipment that is necessary for the scan is within the hospital. Finally, Minister, can you please outline to me here today what are the long-term plans of the Department and of the HSE for the unit in Cavan General Hospital? There is a fabulous department there, and they just require this one scan which has been recommended.
Thank you very much.
And first, I'd like to apologise for my arriving late here and delaying the proceedings. And thank you to Deputy Smyth for the topical issue this afternoon, and unfortunately Minister Harris can't be here, so I will be taking it. On behalf of Mr Harris, I want to thank the Deputy Smyth for raising the matter and giving me the opportunity to update the House on the position of relation to fetal anomaly scanning at Cavan General Hospital. Minister Harris in advance is advised that while the provision of the routine fetal Anomaly scanning for all pregnant women has been a key target for Cavan General Hospital. Despite every effort have been made, the hospital has not been successful to date in recruiting the necessary specialists required to provide a routine 20-week anomaly scanning service. However, the Minister is advised that those maternity hospitals and units currently providing anomaly scans will accept referrals from other maternity units if requested. This occurs when the medical team in the referred maternity unit considers an anomaly scan is clinically indicated. Minister Harris accepts that the provision of an anomaly scan is not uniform throughout the country, but we are working to address this. Indeed, the National Maternity Strategy is very clear that all women must have equal access to standardised ultrasound services. The strategy will be implemented on a phased basis over the coming year, and this work will be led by the HSE National Women and Infants Health Programme. The programme has recently been established and will Minister Harris anticipates drives improvements into the maternity service delivery. On behalf of the Minister, I am pleased to confirm that a Programme Director was seconded in position on the 3rd of January last, and a Clinical Director has recently been appointed and will take up the position on the 1st of March. Minister Harris has been assured that the issue of the anomaly scanning is a priority for the programme. As a first step, clinical guidance in relation to routine, detailed scans at 20 weeks will be developed. In the meantime, the programme will continue to work with the hospital groups to assist in increasing access to anomaly scans for those units with limited availability. Of course, one of the current challenges is to increase access to the anomaly scan in the recruitment of an ultrasonograph. In this context, it is expected that the establishment of a maternity network across hospital groups will assist in development of a sustainable service model that ensures that all women within each hospital group can access anomaly scans. The maternity strategy recognised that the smallest maternity service cannot and should not operate in isolation as a standalone entity. Those units cannot sustain the breadth and depth of clinical service, the population that service required, without formal links to larger units. Accordingly, maternity networks are being established across hospital groups. The Deputy can be assured that this Government is fully committed to the progressive development of our maternity services for 2016 saw the publication of Ireland's first ever National Maternity Strategy, as well as the HSE's National Standard for Bereavement Care following pregnancy loss and parental death, and the HICWIN National Standard of Safe Better Maternity Services. In addition, each of our 90 maternity units is now publishing maternity patient safety statements on a monthly basis. I am sure that the House will agree that these developments represent key building blocks to enable us to provide a consistently safe and high-quality maternity service.
Thank you, Minister. Now, you have 2 minutes to conclude your side.
Minister, it is a very fundamental piece of equipment and a fundamental service in any maternity ward. And Cavan General Hospital and that whole area. I'm really not quite sure from your answer, are you saying that it's going to be staff actually the circulating between the various hospitals, or are we actually going to have a designated, dedicated 20-week anomaly scan within Cavan General Hospital, that they're not just going to be referred to the Rotunda or other hospitals, that we're actually going to have that designated service in that particular hospital? And finally, I did ask Minister Harris, or write to Minister Harris and ask him, would he meet with the Whelan family? In the inquest to Conor Whelan's death, it was part of the recommendations that this 20-week anomaly scan would be provided for in the hospital, that any fatal fetal abnormalities, any abnormalities within an unborn child would be recognised in the early days. So I'm asking you, Minister, will the Minister be agreeable to meet with the Whelan family, and are you telling me here today that we are going to have a designated 20-week anomaly scan within Cavan General Hospital?
Very much for your cooperation, Deputy. Final 2 minutes.
Just to acknowledge, I suppose, the concerns that Deputy has raised, and I'll just read back, and it says very clearly here, despite every effort having made, the hospital has not been successful to date in recruiting the necessary specialist required to provide a routine 20-week anomaly scan service. I will certainly bring back your concerns about that. I also will bring back your concerns about Minister meeting the Whelan family. As a mother myself and a grandmother, I know how important it is for a lot of expectant parents that being pregnant is a very stressful time for both the woman and the man in cases like this. And a 20-week scan does, I suppose, give some kind of assurance to people, to the expectant parents, that everything is okay. So it's unfortunate at this time that there just seems to be, the problem seems to be very much just finding the proper specialist to provide a service of the anomaly scan, but I will bring back your concerns again to the Minister, and particularly regarding the meeting with the Whelan family as well. I will, I guarantee it.
Thanks very much. Now we move on to the second question.